afternoon. Welcome to another edition of On the Table. I'm your host. My name is Chimweka. Now, don't ask why I'm in a jacket, looking all formally dressed and all that. Look, I had a meeting earlier on. But when you're visited by an international artist, you stop whatever you're doing and attend to that. Fortunately, soon you'll be able to see for yourself. I'm not the only person suited up here. We'll talk about that as we carry on with the show. I do have exciting guests coming up today. It's about to be another amazing episode of On the Table. Now listen, on the 27th of May 2023, we have this international artist from Zambia who seeks to fill up the National Heroes Stadium. Now listen, this has never been done before. There's a capacity of 60,000 people, and not even half has been done in Zambia. Will it be done? We'll talk about this with our guest, the international artist himself, your boy, your Maps, who's not alone. He's here with the organizer of the event, Kwithu FM, through their CEO in Muka Mwenda. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Great to have you here. I hope the camera is on. We are here so you can see what's going on here. I know this question comes up a lot. The CEO here, always in slippers, and there's so many questions as to why. What is that about?
That's what's going on.
What's the meaning of it?
Well, it's just comfortability, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about being comfortable. What makes you comfortable? So I'm comfortable in slippers, and yeah, I don't think. The thing that's there is that I don't think it should be defined by what makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I've got a few farmer friends who are boa. They walk into meetings with shorts, and it's never an issue. But I think it's a cultural thing with Zambia. But I'm not here to talk about my slippers.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to get that out of the way in case somebody sees it and is wondering what exactly is going on. Definitely we're here for your Maps because it's got a big event that will be happening on the 27th of May. Let's talk about that. Bunch boss, it's a big event, a very big stadium. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. We're going to be the first people to do that, and I can't wait, to fill up your stadium. Yeah.
And you're sure you're going to fill up your stadium?
Yes, we'll do it.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Let's talk about the total number. I know we say the capacity is 60,000, but are we really aiming for 60,000? Because I know you need to set up the stage, you kind of people behind the stage and stuff. What's the total number of people you're looking at?
It'll be 60,000. In fact, we'll have more people. That's why we've put a huge emphasis on security. Luckily, we're working closely with the Ministry of Sport, Youth and Arts. So we're working with the Zambia Police as well, with private security. So we will soon be announcing the security measures. But high priority on our list is security next to Maps' performance. So as much as Maps is going to give people an experience that they've never felt, never seen before, we are looking for our A game when it comes to security. We'd like to secure the entire stadium, and people should be comfortable with their goods. We are also in the process of engaging RATSA so that we just have a good flow of traffic pretty much there. So we're planning ahead with everything. I mean, we've just recently signed an MOU with a hospital, so we'll have a Medi Bay there. I mean, we're not planning for a catastrophe, but we just want everything in check. So you're asking, the question is, are we going to have 60,000? We're going to have more than 60, so we just need to be ready. And the reason we'll have more than 60 is this is not just a Yo Maps event organized by Kwithu. This is about Zambians making history for Zambians. It's about the music industry. The number of people who are willing to jump on board, the number of artists who want to be part of this project is overwhelming. But more importantly, it's experiencing Maps. When I encountered Maps for the first time, I was actually in shock. Can you imagine this is his second album?
Yes, Commando, first to now.
Yeah. This guy feels like he's been at it for 100 years. You know what I mean? But that's how big he is. His second album is carrying this much traction. And there are very few artists in Zambia, and he's amongst that list of artists who, when they feature on your song, it's an instant hit. I don't want to start mentioning names and looking like I'm looking for favorites, but you know what I mean. So he's got a lot of songs, Maps, that a lot of people jump on, and he's jumped on a lot of songs, and they're really decent songs.
And one thing I love about Maps, I was telling somebody the other day, you never know what song Maps will start with and what song he will end with, because they are all hits.
Yeah.
You know, for other artists, you know that, okay, this will be the last song they'll perform. But for your Maps, you think the last song is this one he's going to start with. He's just going to go on stage and jump with that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about over 60,000 people. Now, your Maps, you've had a lot of backlash. People have said a lot of things about you, a lot of controversy. No, your wife does this. Like we talked about in the Awe song, all of that. But do you think people love you again enough to fill up a stadium?
Yes, they do. Why do I say so? Because, look, in 2021, we did Commander album launch, which was a very successful album launch. In 2022, last year, we did Music Club. Music Club capacity is about 3,000. Yeah, it was a sold-out show, you know. So this year, it's fill up heroes. Trust me, we will do it. Yeah, we'll do it.
I'll pose that same question to you as well, because as the organizer, Kwithu FM, did you also consider the risk factor of all the controversy, all the backlash, things people have said about him, and how maybe disciplinary committee might want to come up and say, they can't fill up the stadium?
We considered everything. I think we had lengthy meetings with not only your Maps, but his management team. And what I would tell you is sometimes people need to look at everything 360. I've heard stories about Kandeke. I've had to sit with Kandeke to understand. So I'll tell you, for instance, that when it comes to Maps, let me just back up the question as I finish off with the controversy. Maps continuously proves that he's defying all odds. When the Awe song came out, how many hits did it make in a day, in a week, in a month? Fatima, totally different feel to Awe. In a month, 1.8 million views. Bringing back the controversy and talking about Maps and how everything was done, I think you will notice that in life it's about growth. As a company, we've also been growing. We've gotten advice from the group. We've gotten advice from peers and friends. And sometimes that's what an artist like Maps needs. He doesn't need the backlash. He needs the advice. We've sat with them. If you've noticed the approach of the Maps camp this year, even when something wrong happens and how they approach it, it's totally different. And all they need is to be advised and told, listen, there's option A, B, and C. You pick one. Because sometimes when you allow keyboard warriors to run the show, they run a narrative which is not the case. They will say Maps is doing this. I was in Joburg with Maps when I was hearing stories about Maps being in Zambia, caught up at a lodge or something like that. We were in Santon together. So I find it interesting that people will create a narrative over your life that is not you. It's because sometimes people also just want to be the first to break news, and social media journalists, they need to be more responsibility, you know. So controversy will always be there, but how much of it is really Maps' issue? You tell me one person who will come and say, I have a problem with Maps. Maps is a very private person. You know, he spends his time in the studio with family. Even when he goes for engagements, he's in and out. Several times I'll pick up the phone and call him when we have to do stuff, and I know how he runs his regime. But you hear so many stories because dogs don't bark at a car that's not moving. Maps is the hottest thing at the moment, and everybody will say something about it.
With all this controversy, how do you survive?
You know, one thing that I understand is that, you know, I'm a public figure, and trust me, everyone would want to talk about me, you know, everyone want to say something, you know, so it is what it is. I understand that. So tinajaila chimanje. So so just okay. Anyway, you know, like you said, you know, controversy won't end, but it's how you handle it. So yeah, so we are learning.
Nice. I like that. I know that the Fill Up Hero Stadium is not just about people coming through to listen to your catalog of songs, the songs you've done before and so on. It's also about your album, Try Again, which you'll be releasing. How far have you gone with the album?
The album is 90% done.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so meaning still recording a few more songs, or just maybe is it the mixing, the mastering, or at what point does it reach?
Mixing the mastering, chab.
Okay.
The album is done.
Any hints of some possible features?
Yes, they are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet Sheffield will be there. Chandana K will be there. Kwithu has to be there. Am I correct so far?
Yeah, so far somehow.
Chile one will be there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's a confirmation.
Somehow.
There. I say that because I mean we saw some pictures of you with Chile one, and I know what Stash's studio looks like. I know that was Stash's studio.
Yeah. Yes.
So was that the day you're recording, or unabunka and a chair? Okay, no, let's take a photo here.
Actually, that day was now present the mix song is this song. Yeah, so that's when we met.
Okay.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. Let's listen to the song. Then we had to listen to the song, and okay, cool. Big man, I'm a producer, so.
Oh yeah.
And I got the you know.
So you also played a role in producing Isem Tambi.
No, na take off and.
Oh, you don't do what Blake did to you. That's no. Lyrics.
I was just part of the session.
So you don't want to claim him like others have been claiming for you.
No, I was just na pesa nishmanata that avonse, but they were like trying to master the song, you know. So I was like, oh, okay, I feel like maybe kick Tairisana, you know, Tairisana strong. So let me try see what I can do. So
yeah, so now record data the song with Chile one?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Anyway, I know we'll get more details for that. We're hoping it's going to be on the album and looking forward to having him at the show and whatnot. But have you already decided? We're looking at over 60,000 people. Have you decided how much a ticket should go at?
Yes, we decided. In fact, we decided a while back.
Okay.
What we were just doing is shopping for vendors to do the tickets.
Okay.
So we'll be making an announcement, I think, just this week.
Oh,
So
okay.
this starting week, we're making an announcement as to where you can get the tickets and how much the ticket prices will be. We considered who the heart-to-heart Your Maps fans are. So the ticket prices will reflect the fans on the ground, the Kwithu listener, the person who sings our way as a motivation every morning in the ghetto. So there'll be friendly prices.
I love that. And one of the, I think, controversial things about the event, obviously in promoting it and so on, you did talk about the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts, who you've been engaging, Zambia Police and so on, but still in the ministry announced that on the 27th of May, the same date the Your Maps event is supposed to happen, there will be a football match. So what exactly is going on?
Well, I'm not the spokesperson for the ministry, so I'll let the ministry speak to that effect. But what I'm here to tell you is that on the 27th of May, this gentleman here is filling up Hero Stadium, and we have support from the ministry.
But if people had to pick here, a football event, Zambia legends, Barcelona legends, and Your Maps. And I'll ask this question because you on both sides, sporting man, and obviously you're promoting this event. Yeah. Which one do you think people would want more?
Look, I can't speak for the country, but I can speak to Zambian arts and the entertainment industry. As much as I love football and Ronaldinho and Barcelona legends, I think whatever Your Maps would do is more Zambian than what they are going to do. Back to Maps, you're celebrating Bukata's birthday.
Yeah.
Obviously at a school and so on. I know that then obviously night for the event you are going to Abdallah by that time. But does she understand that her dad is a superstar? Do you think she understands that? An international superstar?
Somehow, I think she knows, somehow. Because, you know, most of the time, I want to make a video, Muka Mwenda or something, you know, one of my songs. So I believe somehow she knows, yeah.
Did she enjoy her birthday, by the way, when you went there?
Yeah, she was happy.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That was really nice.
And really happy.
I've also heard Tendai also singing Awe as well.
Yeah, it's like it's like I have two musicians.
Yeah. But speaking of that, would you love for that to happen with any one of your daughters?
Sure. Sure. You know, I don't want to like to tell my children what they should do. You know, if they wake up today and say, Dad, I want to become a musician, I want to be like you, yeah, they can go ahead. You know, I don't want to be like, hey, you, hey, Shan, you know.
But another thing I noticed, speaking of Tendai singing, always she was backing up the mother who was singing, Kidist.
Yeah.
But I noticed that Kidist can actually sing as well.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered putting her on a song or something? Or maybe, who knows, maybe she's on the album.
I thought about that. Yeah, maybe she might feature. She might feature one of my songs, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be nice. Like, when did you realize that she could sing?
She used to do music. But now, because of my parents, you know, you need to go to school and the business, so she stopped. Yeah, but now she's like, I have a studio. You know, why can't you just join me and we start doing this together, you know? It's like, you know.
So she had to take a back seat, obviously. I know she had to pursue school. And speaking of that, I mean, that also came up in the media where people are, you know, bringing out results from school and all of that. How are you dealing with that as a public couple?
That was 2019 results. Yeah, then she dropped out because of there were some controversy. I think you remember that time. Yeah, so she stopped and then she had to start again. She's doing a different course now. Yeah, so it was like different results from what she's doing right now. You know, and people always try to find something that they should talk about. So like, you know, I just cool it down, then forget about it. It's social media at the end of the day, so we understand how social media works.
Yeah. So back to you, Mr. Mwenda. I was just joking with Maps about how Wukata will probably be asleep by the time he's performing. But it still addresses another big issue that people have raised when it comes to Zambian events. Timing. I mean, I hosted his last event at the music club, and people were complaining, no, he came late. You know, people have different things to say about that. What assurance would you also give people that the event will start on time, despite what challenges the event will be on time?
There are no challenges, for starters. And the second thing is, one of the biggest problems that's there in the Zambian entertainment industry is that you've got people that ride bicycles having conversations about people who drive BMWs. What am I trying to say? If you don't do events, you have no business doing events. You either need to learn how to do events and understand events. I challenge anybody who's been to a Kwithu event to say it didn't start on time. So I can guarantee you that if it means Maps will sleep at the stadium, he'll sleep at the stadium. Maps will perform exactly at the time we've slated for him to start performing. So I think there's no such thing as Zambian time. And as far as we are concerned, if you look at the way this has been done, it's been done very professionally. Even the vendors who are coming on board are professional vendors. Everything is very professional. So even Maps, we are not going to fill up heroes and we are trying to do something we don't know. If you look at the sequence of how we've been rolling out this thing, it's not been done before in Zambia. For starters, the event is being managed by Hype. Hype is a company that has done
Definitely, I've seen the work of Hype.
You've seen the work of Hype. Secondly, who's doing the sound, lighting, and stage? Soundwave.
Now, professional people.
Now, Soundwave will be fresh out of an event in Livingston. I'm cognizant of the fact that this is a media platform. I don't want to advertise it.
Definitely.
They'll be coming off an event in Livingston. To just give you a hint, whatever they're doing there, we're doing bigger.
And he'll be on that stage as well.
Yes, it's a dress rehearsal. It's just preparing for Heroes.
For Heroes.
So what Soundwave is going to set up in Hero Stadium, they've not set up in there before. We're bringing in stuff. We've asked for stuff. His Take Rider is different from any other Take Rider that Soundwave has done. So if you sit with the Soundwave team, they'll even tell you what these guys are asking for is international. As is an international artist with an international manager, so their Take Rider is out of this world. So even the performance and the schedule and the setup, the supporting acts who will be on the day, everything is timed to a T. So if you come late to your Maps event and think that, Timaziwa ama Bwerana this time, you come and you find the show has finished. Because we're not going to sit to wait for people to fill up the stadium. You know, if the event is starting at a particular time, it will start at a particular time. And even then, I think it's not a question of whether or not people fill up the stadium. I'm very sure that the moment we announce the ticket prices and the tickets, they'll be sold out in record time. You can invite us back on this show, and we'll have a drink of your favorite choice. What else you say? I'm a prophet.
Wow, I love that. And you spoke about the international manager, DJ Kandeke, the very famous DJ Kandeke. So what is Kandeke's role now? Because I know obviously Team and Yakuda, you've got a number of people advising you, like Muka was saying. So what role is Kandeke playing? Because I know now there's people like Muka, professional, there's Chabu in the background. So what does Kandeke now do as a close friend of yours and as people know, your manager?
He's still the same manager. You know, he has a lot of things that you know, he had to make sure that ABCD is on point. Yeah, and he's working with Mr. Muka as well, with other people. So he's still the same manager. So
Chimweka, let me tell you a story. I personally prefer experiencing people, not hearing stories about them. So when I met Kandeke, I told him personally that, hey, I've heard so much about you. I hear you're this, and this. But I'm like, that's what I told him. I said, but you know, and it went on, and we've had our encounters with Kandeke. But what I've learned about Kandeke is that Kandeke is a hard worker. And everyone needs a Kandeke in their lives. We were coming out of Alexander with Tivo, Chawo, Switcher. We had gone to do Reiki. And Kandeke, we did Reiki for Fatima. So we just came out of Alex, and we left Maps with DJ Maggie at the apartment. When we got back, Maps says, big man ninkwa techikali. So I wondered, what is he talking about? When I sat and heard the song, I told him to play it back 3 times. And that song is the epitome of his relationship with Kandeke.
Is it the Women Nandi song?
Yes, it's Kale. Yeah. So you get to understand certain things. Sometimes people think they know what's best for Maps. They were not with Maps when they stayed in a one-roomed house. They were not with Maps when they shared a single bed. They were not with Maps when they only had one meal. So all Kandeke needs is a little bit of advice on how to deal with one thing or another, because maybe sometimes he's more reactive than proactive, and maybe sometimes he may say something that means totally different and you will not understand it. Because all of us have had to go through some sort of training. We've had to deal with people who've gone through these processes at different times. So for us, we are here to just say, look, Kandeke is a big part of Maps' career, and Maps wouldn't be here without Kandeke. Likewise, Kandeke wouldn't be here without Maps. But I want a Kandeke in my life, and you need a Kandeke in your life.
Definitely.
You know, a guy who's there for you when all the chips are down. But also, what I love is, just recently, Kandeke was caught up in a bit of confusion about a month or 2 months ago.
Yes, about is it Mandevu? Is it Karingaringa?
Yes. So when we sat, Kandeke explained it, but we only sat afterwards. Before we even sat, Maps went on live with Kandeke, and he was advising his manager, his friend, and he told him, if I may quote, I might be wrong, that listen, I make mistakes, you advise me. You're my friend, you're my manager. When you make mistakes, I should advise you. This was wrong, and Kandeke apologized. And interesting enough, Kwithu is a radio station that broadcasts in 90% local language and only 10% English. Our core listener is somebody in the township. We have planned activations. We have an OB tour. We're going around into the townships. So Maps is having a lot of activations in these same townships for free, because we are trying to give those people an experience of how Heroes is going to be. So it's sort of an oxymoron. And sometimes people would like to just run a narrative. So like I said again, you live, you learn, and when you make mistakes, you apologize. We're only human beings.
I like that you say that. And obviously this is for DJ Kandeke as the manager coming in, as a friend also here. But does it ever get different when it comes to the Madam Mao, Kidist'S? Because people have also said a few things about her, but obviously becomes more sensitive. Kind of, Madam, so. Even from your, I'll start with you. From your perspective, have you talked to her about these things? Maybe it won't be on camera like you did with Kandeke, but have you had these conversations with Kidist as well?
Yes, of course. She's my wife. You know, so not to comment you know, so you talk to each other. You know, when I believe we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Trust me, we all make mistakes. And when you see your friend that apanga mistake, you sit down and you talk about it. You say, no, see oneka straight. Next time, don't do this. Next time, because you know. Yeah. So yeah, she's my madam, and you know, I will always respect her and always advise her when it's necessary. Yeah.
Does it also come out as disrespect as for you as a team to also, you know, come and advise the wife on something like that?
Well, luckily, we've not gotten to a point where we've had to advise her.
Yeah.
I think from the time we've been doing things, it's about 5-6 months now from our way. We've not really have come in to advise her. I think the way we've structured the corporate governance is very much aligned.
I don't think if I can't manage to sit down with my wife, I don't think they can manage to sit down with my wife.
And we've never sat down with her.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything that
so
has
it
happened.
start with me, sit down with her, and then just, you know, sometimes it's there. You know, we make mistakes, but what do you do when you make that mistake? You understand? So we sit down and say, look, ABCD, then it's done. Yeah.
I love that.
And remember also, sometimes the mistake people make is, he may talk about a mistake, but it's a mistake in his regard as his family. Because you need to separate the two.
Yeah.
You know, Kidist is his wife, and Kandeke is his manager. So, how much of Kidist affects your maps as an artist? I don't think so. I've not encountered it. You know, so sometimes people create a narrative like, here, this, and this. We've never had to sit in a meeting with his wife. You know, if we've sat in a meeting with his wife, it's over dinner or lunch or having conversations about other light things.
Yeah.
Not to discuss the business. I think he discusses his business with his wife, and we discuss his business with Kandeke and the team. And all things being equal, I think I notice him, even when he's had a very good stay, when his wife has picked him up at the airport. You see, you know, these women have a way to just make you smile. You find even the song he's doing is something different. And I told him, I think we need to send you more home, not here in South Africa. You're not making the best music.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's a good one. Let's talk about the album itself, Try Again. First of all, why did you choose the name Try Again?
You know, I believe that you know, we all face challenges. You know, we have some of us, we have bad situations. You know, when I'm good to I mean, like my pressure, you know. So I'm just trying to send a message to say, you know what, look, no matter what happens, you know, that's not the end of the world. You can still try again. You know, you can still find a way. You know, so yes, that's the message around the album.
And obviously, as an international artist from Zambia, there should be international artists like Chalo. So how are we doing with the features?
Mr. Muka.
We've got a number of features lined up, and we've had a number of features already fully done. I think A Taste of Beretta is one. Beretta is a very big artist in South Africa. You know, so her featuring on Fatima was a phenomenal thing, not just for her, but also for Maps. And it also gives you the range that Maps has. One of the biggest things that people have brought up is, oh, Maps sounds the same. It doesn't sound the same on Awe. It doesn't sound the same on Fatima. And I can tell you that there's more features that are there on the album that we will not talk about, and you find out when we release the album. But for me, it's how much African artists want to work with your Maps.
Yeah.
Several times we are together and they will message him. I mean, I won't mention their names. They will message him in his DM, you know, telling him we want to work together. And he will say, oh, this one wants to work with me. This one wants to work with me. And then you sort of then realize that as a country, we need to re-strategize when it comes to our policy with entertainment and everything else. you have to be deliberate and say, Chimweka is one of the best presenters you have. We're going to pick up a Jonah, we're going to pick up a so and so, and let's push those, because they make it easier for us to do the whole Zambia Kuchalo.
Yeah.
Because sometimes everybody wants to go at the same time. It's not working. It's not worked. You know, so we need to say, how do we break the membrane of the international sphere? We need to get, whether it's 10 artists, 20 artists, and it's not just about a feature. It's about a feature that gives you a nomination at a summer, gives you a nomination at, you know, a big awards ceremony in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's also about a feature where you are respected as an equal and a peer in East Africa, West Africa. I think I'm giving you answers to which artists. Let me stop there.
Before you give out too much away. But you spoke about Jonah, and as we conclude, Jonah at an event where obviously Jonah was there, the Republican president was there, Mnakumana with Bali and so on. What was that moment like for you?
It was, you know, when I received a call, and Kandeka was like, boy, we have been invited to go and perform at Youth Indaba. I was like, okay, cool, but kuleba bakateka. I said, fine. Okay, so
What's the but there?
kuleba bakateka. I was like, okay, cool, nice one. So we went there. You know, it was like, you know, like if I talk about, like, you know, let me say 2021, I did the PF song and all that.
Exactly,
you know.
we'll come to that.
So, you know, when you go to when we went that side, it was like you meet people who belong to that party, you know. Then it was like, you know. But the good part is that those people are like, they welcomed me, like it was beautiful, and I saw it, I performed. After that, we took some photos. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome, and I love that.
Yeah. No, it was really, really great, and I'm happy we've addressed that issue. But I'd like to say thanks to the both of you for coming through and I think explaining more about the event. Feel Up Hero Stadium, Try Again album, 27th of May. Obviously, we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to finding out how much this will cost. Obviously, from the lowest level to VVVIP. And we hope some of the international artists who feature will come through as well.
Look, I'll tell you this, Chimweka. No Zambian artist is going to do what YoMaps is going to do on the 27th. And I don't market. I say it as it is. What's going to happen on the 27th? A lot of people will ask and say, such things are possible in Zambia.
Yeah.
And I think it's high time everybody rallied around everybody. If an event is being done by this person, let's go through and support them. You know, this event is being done by a Zambian artist, by a Zambian company, for Zambians. We do this for international artists, and I'll take nothing away from the international artists. But when we talk about pushing the Zambian agenda, music is a unifier. I don't want to get into the politics of music, but I'm a firm believer in the driving force for Zambian music should be the corporate world, with obviously help from government. But artists themselves are a business. They can bring in an income into the country. But back to the fact that we always go all out for international artists. They get paid that money and take that money back to their country. If Maps gets the money, he's already talked about how he wants to build a music school because he had it very difficult as an upcoming artist, and he doesn't want people to go through that. That's one part. Secondly, he's going to come and buy fritters from Amake Soko. He's going to sponsor, you know, Dorika, his niece. He's going to try to buy some timber from Borden Timber to build his desk for his studio. What am I saying? Zambians need Zambian solutions. YoMaps is an example, and I bet you after this, a lot of people will say, oh, we can do it.
I love the confidence. I love the confidence that comes with all of this. Once again, thanks to both of you for coming through. And thanks to you as well for tuning into this episode of On the Table. My name is Chimweka. Back again next week for another edition. Stay tuned to Diamond Media. Bye-bye.